Good morning, people. It's Monday. It's pouring with rain outside this morning, but it's sort of fared up now. It's just after 12 o'clock. I'm just on with a little bit of cleaning up so that I can get a coat of paint on this and let it dry, and then I'm going to start putting the engine together. After last week's snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, I'm ready to put the cylinder heads back together and put them back on the engine, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to get this finished and get some paint on it so it can be drying, and then we'll be on with that. So there you go. I was so pleased with last week's progress that I actually took the workshop towel home and washed it. So we've got a nice clean workshop towel to dry out, and there you go. Bye for now. Here we go, chaps. 2 cylinder heads washed down. First cylinder head getting rebuilt. Now the first thing we have to do is refit the valve stem oil seals, or at least fit some new valve stem oil seals. As you see, that these are nice and squashy, and when I press them they move. The other ones, and valve stem oil seals in general, as they age they don't necessarily wear, but they go hard, and these are probably not worn but are very hard indeed. They do not move, so they're coming off and the new ones are going on. You have to fit these very carefully, find a socket that just goes right over the soft seal and hits on the metal outer case and taps them on like that. So they're fitted, so next job is to put the valves in. So I'm going to clean the valves up now, and then we'll lube them up and we'll put them in, and I'll show you using the valve spring compressor. Okay, bring you back in a minute. Right, here we go, chaps. We've got the spring seat fitted, we've got the spring fitted, we've got the spring top fitted. We have 2 clean collets here, and I've compressed the spring until I can see all 3 of the slots that match up with the little, can you see those, the little rings in the collet. So what we do now is, by a bit of jiggery pokery, we place a finger there, place a finger there, we guide the first collet into position. Collets are tapered and you put the narrow side down, and they are a bit fiddly to get in, so we have to just go a bit steady. That's the first one in. The bottom one's the hard one, the top one's fairly easy. He said, lying through his teeth. I'll let him dip him out. There we go. Needs to go down another click. Another click. I've got one in, but number 2 is being recalcitrant. Right, I'm going to get a pair of long nose pliers. Here we go. Here we go. That's it. And once we've got those both into position, and then it's a miss. Bottom one's still in, top one's not quite in. I told you these were fiddly, didn't I? problem usually is caused by the fact that when you put the spring compressor in, it rarely, if ever, pushes the spring down exactly square, and this tends to give you more room at one side of the hole and less at the other. And that one's right anyway, so I'm going to just move the compressor over a little bit, and then we'll go down again. Let's see if we can get it this time. It's bloody moved again. Now some people will be saying it's easier, and it can be easier, to put the back of the spring compressor in a vise and do it like that. Doing it like that means you generally need about 3 hands. Let's just see if we can pop that in there now. Right. No. Watch me struggle. I'm out of practice, that's what it is. This is the first engine I've rebuilt for donkey's years. Time was when I would have put them in with my teeth. That looks like I've got it. I may have got it. I'll tell you when I've examined it. Yep, and then we just give it a little to make sure it's seated properly. And I'm happy to say that that is seated properly. And then we go on to the next one. I'm not going to show me struggling on all 4 of them, but that's how we put colours in. Bring you back in a minute. And here we are, chaps. 2 fully assembled cylinder heads, ready to go back on the engine. And thank the Lord for that. Complete with new little seals on the push rod tubes. I have to make sure they go on okay when I get them on. Wouldn't you know it, that first fiddly valve that I showed you was not a precursor of the others. The other 3 went on perfectly straight away. Probably because I got the knack back. You have to turn the spring compressor right down until you've virtually closed the coils on the spring, and that way you've got plenty of room to get the collets over the correct little rings. And you give them a tap with it. Give them all a tap with a hammer on the end, just to make sure they're seated properly when you've finished. But there we go. Right. I'll put the cylinder heads on and I'll bring you back. Bye for now. And there we are, people. Cylinder heads back on. Hasn't that been a long time coming? Look at those gleaming push rod tubes. Ain't they good? Right. Whoops. Smash, bang, crash. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea. And then I'm going to continue the reassembly. I've got to put the oil feed pipe on for the cylinder heads, and then I've got to torque the cylinder heads down, which is not very much. I think it's about £18 per square inch, so not pounds per square inch, 18 foot-pounds. But I'll check that up, it's in the book. So there you go. 2CV engine, cylinder heads back on. Hallelujah. Well, there we are, folks. 10 to 5. And it's a completely rebuilt 2CV engine. I've even painted the rocker covers where they were going rusty, because they are known to rust through, so I've knocked the scabs off them and given them a coat of paint. Yes, all done. Tappet set, cylinder heads torqued down, tappet set. New oil feed pipe on. Ignition timing set. Ready really to go. What's the next job? I suppose the next job is to put the manifold on and weld that cracked pipe up, which is what I'll do tomorrow. I'll lift this onto the hydraulic platform, and I'll take it into the welding shop, put the manifold on it, and I'll weld that up. And I've got the alternator to rebuild, because the bearing in that's very noisy as well, and I'll probably strip the carburettor and give that a clean and a rebuild. But that should be ready to run now. I've set the static timing, I've set the points. Very clever on this. To set the static timing, there's a rod that you stick through this hole here, and it locates in a hole in the flywheel, and that sets the engine in the exact correct position. Then you set the points to just braking, right? So you gap the points first. When the gap's correct, you wind the distributor, the points box, if you like, in the direction of rotation until the points just open. When they just open, tighten the bolts up, and you've set the static timing, and that's it. And to be honest, I've never had to reset the timing on one of these. Once you set it static, they just purr. They're lovely little engines when they aren't rotting bloody pushrod tubes through. Right. So I've painted that. I've painted this, because this was very rusty as well, and they're also known to rust through, so they get a little leak in them and then they leak oil all over the place. So I've painted that as well. Painted its lid and its catch. And it's home time. So I'll see you tomorrow for more Tuesday fun. Bye for now, people. Good morning, folks. It's Tuesday. I've been here since 10 o'clock. It's now just gone 11, and I just felt that I had to bring you in and show you the next phase of this continuing disaster area of an engine. Now, I can't really complain that much, because all of this is down to the fact the engine's been stood, but look. Oh yes. Oil cooler pipes sheared off, and to be honest, I think they were 3/4 corroded through anyway. I just warmed this one up, but it's made no difference, it's sheared off, and by the look of it they were just about corroded through. So I'm going to take the oil cooler off and continue, because I need the oil cooler off to heat this pipe up to straighten it out, because when you clamp it up to the manifold, that's the position it's held in, so it obviously needs this warming and bending upwards. So let's just continue. There's ups and downs in this job. Unfortunately, the downs come before the ups. Catch you later. Hey there, folks. Well, after about an hour-long wrestle and the cycles of heating and cooling and tapping, I've actually managed to get the oil cooler bolt out and free. So I suppose that's a small victory. There it is, all turning. So there you go. This is just with it being stood, and looking at these pipes, they were already corroded through, so there you go. Can't do anything about that. I'll have to see what oil coolers are available. Of course, I wouldn't say no to an upgraded one, provided the price is right, but we'll have to see what's available. Okay, I'll bring you back. Did I show you this? how far out it is. I'm going to have to warm this up and bend that to get to a more reasonable point. I don't wonder it's broken if that's how much pressure's been put on it. There you go. Right, bring it back in a bit. So here we go, people. Just gone 4 o'clock. I've been called away. We've done a poo run. My cousin Keith is just leaving. We've done a poo run. We've done some tidying up. And I managed to get out this bolt out of there, which was completely seized solid, but with a lot of warming and tapping, it came loose and I got it out. So we've now got the oil cooler off, and it is quite easy to see from the ends of these pipes that these pipes were corroded virtually through and would probably have leaked as soon as they got any pressure on them. They really are in very poor condition. You can probably see that there. There you go, look. Horrible, horrible. So the next piece of research is another oil cooler. But other than that, I have this to deal with. And this means warming this pipe up. And I've just noticed another thing as well. If you get a feeler gauge, he said, getting a feeler gauge, if you get a feeler gauge and you pop the feeler gauge, let me just see if I can do this without making you all feel sick. You can get a feeler gauge and you can slide that feeler gauge in there and it goes right in, basically. That is going right into the joint there now. Yeah, you can see that, can't you? Yeah, I'm just looking at the back of the camera instead of that. That's right into the joint. And if you look at this pipe and this pipe, you can see that if that closed up, that pipe would have to bend down a bit. So that is holding this one up. So this needs bending as well. So I'm going to have a crack tomorrow at heating both these. I'll do this one first. I'm going to heat both these and see if I can get them red hot. If I can't get them red hot with one blow lamp, I can go bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually I can go brazing hearth and use the brazing hearth blow lamp on them. But I'm sure I can get them red hot and just tweak them up a bit. And that one I shall just get red hot and then see if I can tighten this down. But certainly it looks like with constant cycles of heating and cooling these have moved, and it's now holding that joint open there. And this, it has to be said, when I tighten this down, if you slacken this manifold off here and you fit that pipe to there, it fits perfectly, absolutely perfectly, until you start to tighten the flange down and get it tight and meeting. And when it's tight and meeting, that's the position the pipe's in. So I have a feeling they both want bending. So there you go. I'm going to call that it for today. I'm going to go home a bit early because it's only about 4:30. I'm going to go home a bit early and do some research on getting another oil cooler. I've got the nuts out all right. I've got the seals out okay. It's just the oil cooler that's shot at. I was very dubious about it because it has been stood for a long time. It's got all this white corrosion all over it. If you actually look diagonally through the oil cooler, it's nowhere near as bad as you think, because the air actually blows through it at an angle. I think you can see that there. The air blows through that at an angle. So it's not blocked. It's not as bad as it looks. But there's lots of these little white bits all over it, including on the pipes, and I just don't like the look of it. And certainly those have been so thin that I had no chance of getting that undone without breaking them off. Never mind, at least we know that it's done properly now. Right chaps, I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. I'll catch you all tomorrow morning, Wednesday. Bye for now. Good morning people, it's Wednesday, and first job today is to get these pipes straightened out and see if we can get the pipe lined up so we can weld it, and the flange on the other one fitting okay. So we're going to warm it up with the blow lamp and very carefully tease it upwards until it fits better. Right, do you like the new shirt? Courtesy of my cousin, who's been decided he needed to chuck out some shirts as he has over 100, so he donated some to me for working. Nice, eh? Genuine American workwear. Okay, bring you back later when there's something interesting to show you. Bye now. Right people, well I think we can call that one a success. The matte gas gets it red hot quite quickly, and it was quite easy to move back into position. We've just got a nice gap there for welding, so we can get some weld penetration right down into the crack. So that one's lined up, this flange is tight, and that's ready for welding. Right, now I need to have a go at this one and see if I can tilt this one that way a little bit, just so this gap here closes. This might not be as easy, but I have thought that if in doubt I can make a cut in this pipe here and bend it downwards slightly, cut and shut it, and then just re-weld it. So not difficult. So I think should I weld that one first? No, I'll get them both in the right position and then I'll weld that one. Then I can do both welds at once if necessary. Alright, well that's one success. I managed last night to buy an oil cooler. Believe it or not, I'll go back to believe it or not, when I checked on the internet, there was loads of 2CV oil coolers for sale. Some of them are ridiculously overpriced, and one of them actually presented to the public on eBay, showing quite clearly the oil cooler and the two broken off pieces of pipe, and still wanting 25 quid for it. So on the website of Burton 2CV, which is in Holland, they sell you a brand new one for £44, including carriage, from Holland. So I just ordered a new one. So there you go. So the new oil cooler is on its way. It was nowhere near as big a problem as I thought it might be. There are loads on eBay being offered second hand, but by the time you work out what they want for carriage, they're actually more expensive than the new one. So there you go. Anyway, we'll call that it for now. I'll bring you back when I've achieved some more. Bye for now. Tip folks, when you're heating something up like this, a bit of old rusty pipe, scrape the rust off. Right, especially if you're using a low power heating source, because the rust acts as an insulating layer. It's often in flakes, and those flakes heat up and you think you've got the metal red hot and you haven't, you've just heated the rust up. So as far as you can, clean the rust off, back to bright metal, you'll find it'll heat up a lot quicker. Okay, just a quick tip there, bye for now. And there we go people, it's 4 o'clock, I've got to go early to pick up a prescription for Catherine. And that one bent back into position, that one welded up, and all the manifold fitted. So there we go, all tightened down and fitted. And I had to take the fuel pump off, but I put that back on. And that's it for today. So tomorrow it will be Thursday's offering, more assembly, strip and rebuild the alternator, lube the bearings up and just strip and rebuild the carburetor, put the oil filler back on, and we're ready to go back in, more or less. We're ready to go back in. I'll probably wait till the oil cooler arrives, and I might crack on with something else for a bit. Anyway, there we go peeps, Thursday night, 4 o'clock, and I'm going home. Thank God for that. This is the reason it originally came off and came all to pieces. That bloody crack. There you go. Never mind. We live and learn, I hope. Bye for now. Good morning people, it's Thursday. It's slightly after 11 o'clock because I've had a lot to do at home today. And I'm going to ask you something. Do you ever have one of those moments when you're just walking around, getting on with your day, and you suddenly stop and think, oh shit, I've screwed that up? I had one of those moments this morning when the reality dawned on me that I've put the manifolds on, but I've not put the shrouds on that go around the cylinder head. Which fit around the manifolds, like that and like that. So those manifolds were a job to get on. I had a lot of hassle getting them on. I'm not taking them off again. What I'm going to do is make a little cut here and a little cut there, and I'm going to repair them with a little strip of metal after I've put them back on. So there you go. But that just dawned on me this morning. I thought, you bloody idiot. And this is because, of course, I'm out of practice. It's years since I've owned a 2CV, and it's years since I worked on one of the engines. I mean, I've built a lot of these engines, and they're a good little engine. They're not difficult to rebuild, provided you do things in the right sequence. And of course, I forgot. There you go. Right, I'm going to crack on with it. See you later. Well, there we are, folks. I'm sure the 2CV purists would have me shot, but sod it, eh? It's done now. A little bit of black paint on those and nobody will ever notice. Alright, I've got the bottom ones on as well, so it's coming back together. It's taking bloody ages, but it's coming back together. All these shrouds were in terrible condition. All the self-tapping screws had rusted and they were a sod to get off, so I'm going to put some copper slip on the self-tappers when I put them back together, just so they don't seize up again. Took me bloody hours to get them off, now it's taking me hours to put them back on. Never mind. Alright, there we go. I think I fancy a cup of tea. Bye now. Right, I'm working on the other side and I've just realised I haven't told you really what I'm doing. So what I do is I get 2 pieces of tin like this, 2 pieces of thin tin. I drill 2 small holes through them, then I enlarge the top one and I put 1 piece on the inside and 1 piece on the outside, which pulls the joint back together and reinforces it all. So it's as good as it ever was, and I don't have to take those bloody manifolds off again, thank goodness. Right, so that's what I'm doing. So I've got one finished, all bolted on, as you can see there. And I've almost got the second one finished. So let's hope that the oil cooler, which is in transit, it was dropped off with DPD at 4 o'clock yesterday evening, and is moving as we speak. Let's hope it might get delivered tomorrow morning, eh? And then we could put it back together and almost put it back in the vehicle, in the little tractor. There we go. Right, I am now going to definitely get my cup of tea. Bye for now, peeps. Hello, people. It's 4:28 on Thursday, and I think the 2CV engine is about as together as I can do it for now until I get the new oil cooler. So we've put some paint on, all the bare metal, and we've put some paint on those little crafty repairs where some idiot forgot to put the shrouds on before he put the manifold on, and it's all looking good. So tomorrow, alternator rebuild, carburetor clean, but also I think we're going to go and do some metal detecting at Keith's mother's house, because it's on the market at the moment, and we've had offers already in. The board hasn't even gone out yet, and there's several people interested in looking around, and we've never done it. So we thought, just in case there's any Viking treasure buried in the bank, in case any Vikings have put their money in the bank, of course, we better go and check it out before we sell it. So there you go. So tomorrow, weather permitting, and it looks like it's going to be good, metal detecting as well. Now, the oil cooler may come tomorrow, but my feeling is it'll probably come over the weekend or Monday. So, I mean, there's not a great deal more I can do. Carburetor alternator, tomorrow's jobs, and then metal detecting. So, we'll have a bit of fun, we'll have a change of scenery, and we'll go and dig some holes in the garden. Okay people, bye for now. See you tomorrow. Good morning people, it's Friday, just after 10 o'clock, and look what's on the bench. It's my oil cooler arrived from Burton. So there you go. I had a good tidy up last night. As you can see, we're all back to rights again, clean floors and everything. So let's hope it's all going to be cool from now on. Right, I'm going to get stuck in, and I'll bring you back when I've got something to show you. Bye for now. And there it is, folks. You can't go wrong at that price, can you? 44 quid, including shipping from Holland. And I left as special instructions on the order to put the 2 seals in that go with it if they weren't already fitted to the oil cooler, and they have done. Isn't that amazing? 44 quid. Just amazing. That's just amazing service, and it's an amazing price. Beautifully made as well. There you go. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to put it on. Bring you back later. Bye for now. My brother's turned up with a carburettor off an Austin Champ, which he has. An Austin Champ, which he bought from Belgium, I think. And that thread in there may need a repair. And that's going to be very dicey indeed to put a helicoil in, should it need one. Although it may not be as bad as you think, that thread, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, we can come up with something. I don't know what. But this is the adapter that goes into it. So the first thing to do is find out what this thread is, and then go from there. So I've got the book out, and I've got the thread gauges out. So I'll find out what it is, and I'll bring you back. He was here a minute ago. I don't know where the hell he's gone. He was on the telephone, and he rushed out the door and disappeared. And there you go. Right, bring you back in a minute. Well, here we go, people. We've had a rake down of the bank, and I think that my thoughts that some Viking may have hidden his hoard of gold in the bank were perhaps groundless. Never mind. We're still having a go, we're still working away. I'll bring you back if we find anything. Bye for now. Looks like we might have found something here. We've found a button of types, of sorts, and Keith's just found a suspiciously round piece of mud.
There's the button.
There's the button. Quite interesting. There's something on it, we can't see it at the moment, but we're going to clean it up later on. It might be another button, who knows. Digging is tough. There are roots. Where's the Camberwell carrot now? Get the Camberwell carrot out.
Victorian pottery.
Yeah, nice bit of Victorian pottery there.
Now we've moved it. Oh, here it is.
What is it?
Yours if you want it. No, it's, I don't know.
It's a piece of metal
It
with...
looks like a piece of copper. Perhaps a bit of an old one.
Yeah, yeah. It's certainly non-ferrous. It's got, has it got numbers on it?
I think it's copper, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Carry on. I'll bring you back later when we find something else.
Early button.
And here we have our wonderful finds. Spoon bowls. Various round things, but no coins.
Ring pulls.
Ring pulls, yeah.
That.
Tin lids.
Not sure
Various
that's a
buttons
button.
that we're not sure
That's not a whole button. It
about
looks
at
like
all.
it's got design on it. That's the most interesting.
The forever there part of a mouth organ, and all sorts really.
That is the most interesting.
Yeah, the most interesting is this this button here that I'll just try to show you,
Running fox on it.
which has got a running fox on it. There you go.
And on the back it looks like it's a superior or
Yeah,
made, but we'll look at that when we get home.
but one of
Bit
the
for pipes
reasons
then.
that you don't find things very often when you're metal detecting could be because there's actually nothing there to find, and it seems that we've been finding what there is to find. So it's
Well, they never,
no Viking gold after all.
they've never had a bag of beans between them
No.
to let length off, so
This was a this was a find by eyes only,
there was this.
non-ferrous. Oh yeah,
The hanging lantern.
the hanging lantern of Babylon, which was buried deeply and is non-ferrous. I mean, it nearly blew my ears off, that one.
Probably right.
And this obviously wrought iron blacksmith made hinge, which is really quite old, but it's heavily oxidised and it's wrought iron, and wrought iron often gives you a signal that can look like non-ferrous. So there you go. So right, piece of lead. Look at that piece of lead there. But there you go. I'll bring you back if we find anything more interesting. Bye for now. Hi chaps. I've said chaps again, sorry. That's it for this week. We've spent a very pleasant afternoon metal detecting. I showed you some footage. It was very pleasant but not very successful. The one interesting thing we did find, which was like a piece of copper, possibly jewellery or a brooch or something, which appeared to be made from copper wound round and then flattened and tinned or soldered together. We managed to lose again, but no matter, because it was possibly 1920s, 30s bit of junk. But you know, one or two interesting bits and pieces, no coins. There you go. Sometimes you just don't find anything because there's nothing there to find, but we spent a pleasant day anyway. I haven't got this fitted, this oil cooler fitted, but it's all there for Monday. I want to go around and check the torque settings on the oil feed pipe union nuts. Other than that, rebuild the carburetor, rebuild the alternator next week, and we'll see if we can get the bloody thing running. So, thanks all for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing, or not liking and not subscribing, and please send me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I'm crap. Right, okay folks, bye for now. See you next Monday.